Shall we build a story-based app with AI on today's episode of the StoryPod podcast? Question mark. Come on in, bestie. Welcome to StoryPod, where we do the doing of story development together. Brought to you by Creative BFF. Hello, friend. Listen, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, my name is Ashley. I'm your creative BFF, or I would like to be. This is the StoryPod podcast, in which we do, girl, I lost it just that quick, in which we practice storytelling in various ways, in which we build our storytelling muscles by practicing like on other people's stories and on our own and things like that. If you would like to reach out to me, if you have a question that I can answer here, or if you would like coaching or whatever have you, there are links below at which you can do so. But let's just get into it. So, by way of preamble, by way of prologue, okay, I encountered some interesting apps as I was doom scrolling on Instagram. Not really. I don't really doom scroll. Maybe I do. I don't know. But as I was dipping into the Instagram streets, I did see an app that caught my attention, which basically claims to use AI to build any type of app that you may want. And as I was kind of like a little bit investigating that, another one popped up as well. So what I want to do is test these two platforms. I don't know if they're really apps. Test these two platforms, starting with the one that I initially saw. And I didn't get too far in the process on this particular app, which is called Base 44. I am not sponsored. They don't know who I am. Okay. So this is going to be an unbiased review of this. I still kind of feel some kind of way about AI. I jump back and forth, you know what I'm saying, with how I feel about AI and kind of how we as a society are using it, because it is really the wild, wild west right now with very few regulations and things like that. And we still don't know the best ways to implement this, I think, into our lives without losing our humanity and the things that make us human and the things that we need as humans. Okay. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. But I did sort of start by giving it a general prompt. We're going to see how far these two apps let me go for free. I'm pretty sure they're not going to let me like create the finished thing, but I just want to kind of see what it can do. And if this is something that I feel like could be cool, or if this is something that you would like to see me continue, I may decide to invest a little bit of money in trying it, because I did look at their, what is it called? Their pricing structures, and it seemed like, generally like $20 a month or something like that. So I don't know. We're going to see, but we're going to see how far they let me go. So the first one we're going to try is Base 44, and I'm going to transition now to my desktop. All right, you should be seeing my desktop. I'm looking at my little OBS, and it does look like you're looking at the desktop. So what you can see is I have this is when I initially was like, well, let's see what it can do. So let's click on that. What I asked it to do is I wanted to build a visual novel style game. Now I'm going to give the other app a different prompt. So we're going to see how far this lets us go. So what kind of story or theme do you want for this visual novel? Listen, we want, we're going to say fantasy romance. Okay. Now what I want to know is, because what I'm looking for this type of thing before I continue is not for it to write me a story and do all of that. What I want is like the framework that I can then put my story into. I started some years ago, like a little visual novel thing. And it's always been my dream to sort of have my studio, quote unquote, my studio also produce story-based games, like visual novels, like, what's it called? Like choose your own adventures and things like that. So we're going to see if this kind of helps us to jump ahead in the coding aspect, because that was a little bit of a barrier. I would have learned how to do it. I was starting to learn how to do it. This was years ago. So things that were around to create visual novels were like RenPy, I don't know, RENPY. That was something that I was looking at using. There's another one that I found more recently, which seems to not necessarily include visuals, but it seems more like giving you a code structure that you can then import into other game builders like Unity, I think. And that was called Inkle, Inkle, and that was just seemed to be mainly the story aspect of it. But anyway, so let's continue. We're going to see what this does. So fantasy romance next. How should players progress through the story? Branching choices that affect the ending. Linear story with dialogue choices, or stats-based choices affect character stats. I would do that. Now that can get, that being, sorry if you're just listening to this, branching choices that affect the ending is what I'm choosing. That can become unwieldy, especially as a one-woman show, but that's kind of more what I'm looking to do. So next, should the app include a story editor so you can write/edit the story content yourself? Yes, I want to create my own stories, girl. Now, the other options, if you're just listening, so the first option was yes, I want to create my own stories. The next option was no, just build a demo story. And the third option is yes, and use AI to help generate stories. We don't want that one, girl. Okay, we write our own stories here. And you could also put something else. I don't know what that something else would be. So I want to create my own stories. Yes. Oh, it's doing something. What are we doing? Building our idea. All right, I'm going to read this to you again if you're just listening. Here's my plan for the visual novel game. Features: game player, full screen visual novel experience with character art backgrounds, animated dialogue, and branching choices. Story editor, create/edit stories, scenes, characters, and dialogue with branching paths. Endings system, multiple endings based on player choices. Design, dark, elegant fantasy aesthetic. Deep purples, golds, soft glows, cinematic feel. So the structure: story entity, which is story metadata, characters and scenes. Scene entity, which is dialogue lines, choices, next scene logic. A game player page, the actual playable game. And the story editor page, build your own stories. Now with that coming in, I'm kind of confused. Is like, am I building the story and the players are playing it? Or are you talking about an option for players to build their own story within the game, which is not what I want to do at this point. So we'll find out. Let me build it all now. Okay, so it's building it. It already wrote the entities/story. It wrote the entities scene. It's, I guess, reading the app part. Let me build all the pages and components in parallel. Okay, so it's doing it. So it's doing it. It's continuing to think. So perhaps while I let it do this, let's go to the other one and get that one started. So we're going to switch over to the other app, which is called Replit. So I haven't started anything on this one. Okay. And again, not sponsored. So I think if you're looking at your screen, I'm on kind of, I guess, my dashboard page. I've already created a free account. There are two options. One is to create an app and one is to design. And I don't know what that means, but I'm going to go with design. And the prompt that I'm going to give Replit is simple text-based, did I spell that? Yes. Text-based story game in which players converse with a character and make choices to progress the story. All right, so let's see what this one does. So we're starting the process. It's loading the workspace. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to what we experienced with base 44. Is it just it's not going to ask me any questions, girl? You're not going to ask me any questions? It's working. Let's come back to base 44 and see what it's doing. Okay, so it's still doing its thing. We'll be back. Okay, so what Replit has done, I'm going to stop saying if you're not watching the screen, is it's just kind of doing its thing. It hasn't asked me any questions yet. It's currently on the, okay, so it's giving me some text here. I'll build an immersive text-based story game featuring a quote-unquote dark fantasy minimalist aesthetic. Why did you choose that? I didn't say that. Focusing on elegant typography and atmospheric interactions. I'll get started on setting up the design system and the core game logic right away. Now, while both of these are doing this, I have to admit that this is very, very interesting to me. And I still, this is part of the love-hate balance mentality that I have regarding AI, because I do use it pretty much in my everyday life, but I keep it within certain boundaries. Like I think that we've all kind of heard that people, okay, sorry. I'm going to stop mid-sentence because we have some information. All right, so if you're looking at the screen, or if you're not, you can see that there is a visual on screen right now. It's of, I guess, a cheaply rendered dark forest with a random moon in front of tree branches, not in the background. And it has brought back some text. And the text says, the person speaking is a stranger. The air is thick with mist. A figure emerges from the shadows, their features obscured by a tattered cloak. And then it gives the options: who are you, draw your weapon, and wait silently. Okay, so let's read what it was talking about here. So it says, I've built the foundation for your text-based story game. It features a dark fantasy minimalist design using a custom-generated atmospheric forest background and an elegant pairing of Playfair display and Inter fonts. The story progresses through choices, and I've added a subtle typing animation to make the interactions feel more immersive. The front end is running, and you should be able to play through the short narrative loop I've set up. How does the dark, mysterious aesthetic feel for the game? So let's play through this loop, and let's give it a chance, and let's see, once we play through this to, I guess, test, the gameplay, let's see if it returns with the option for me to add my own story. So let's make a choice here. What I want to do with this figure. I am going to, listen, we're ninjas. We're going to draw our weapon. The figure doesn't flinch. Steel is useless against the fog. Put it away before you hurt yourself. I'm a little bit concerned because this sort of feels like a book that I wrote and published. It's still available on Amazon. You can actually, side note, this link is not below, but you can actually get like a free sample of this book. It's a coloring book with a story. It's called The Outliers. I don't know what that sound was. It's called The Outliers, and it's like a post-apocalyptic story with pages that you can color. You can get a free sample of it on my art website, which is ashguyotart.com, ashguyotart.com. There's probably links connecting it on my Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But if you want a free sample and you want to see what it's about without having to pay for it, you can get it there. But it is kind of fog based, which is make me a little bit. But you know what? I don't own fog. Let's continue. The figure doesn't flinch. Steel is useless against the fog. Put it away before you hurt yourself. I'm gonna sheathe my weapon. Okay. Now it's the guide. Ooh, I'm literally feeling some kind of way because it's hitting on a few things here. And actually, side note, I'm just chatting right now. I apologize. If this all goes well, I may, and this has been a plan that I've had. I have intended for all these years since I've written and self-published this little story coloring book, I had intended to kind of bring that story into another form. And it may be that I might present it in this sort of way, like in a story game type of way with images and sound and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, names hold power in these woods, traveler. I am a guide. You seem lost. So my options are: I seek the ruined temple, and I am not lost. I'm going to say I'm seeking the ruined temple. The guide says, the temple, many seek it, few return. If you are certain, I can show you the path, but there is a price. Say, what is the price? A memory. Give me a happy memory and the path will reveal itself. Okay, let's share that memory. The guide smiles. A fleeting warmth in the cold woods. The mist parts, revealing ancient stone steps ascending into dark. I'm not going to lie, this is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Begin the ascent. Restart. Okay, so we've done one pass. Let's do another pass. I'll go with who are you for the first option because we're back at the beginning. Names hold power, blah, blah, blah. I am not lost. Suit yourself. The forest claims all who wander without purpose. They turn to leave. I'm letting them go. Let's see where it goes. You wander alone. Days turn to nights, nights to days. The mist never clears. You become just another shadow in the woods. Okay. So I'm not going to go through it again, but, let's wait silently. Sorry. Patience is a rare virtue here. Come, we shouldn't linger in the open. I'm going to follow them. The temple, many seek it. Few return. If you are certain, I can show you the path, but there is a price. What is the price? A memory. I'm going to refuse. And then it's going to take me back to the beginning loop. All right. So now let's see. Let's make some changes here. What sort of changes do we want to make? I wish you were here, buddy. And we could kind of talk about this together and make these changes, as a unit, but, I'm gonna do the best to mind meld, the best I can to mind meld with you as we make some changes. All right, so how does the dark, mysterious aesthetic feel for the game? Let's see. Can we try a minimalist light aesthetic? Am I spelling that right? ESTHETIC aesthetic with no background art. Let's see. Does this count as a lightweight change? We'll jump back to base 44 coming up. It didn't really change anything. Let's see. I want the whole background to change, buddy. And then I want to see if I can ask it questions the way we can ask like ChatGPT. Hey, how can I? Oh, okay. It's doing. All right. This is kind of more the vibe that I was kind of going for. Let's see. So it says, done. I've switched to a clean, minimalist, light aesthetic. The dark background image is gone, replaced with a pure white/off-white background. The text is now dark for better contrast. The accent color is crisp blue. The overall feel is much more spacious and elegant, perfect for a text-focused reading experience. All right, what do we want to do? Let's try making it look like a retro PC, like a computer from the 80s. Excuse me while I type and I'll read it to you after I finish. All right. So what I said was, can we make the interface look like a retro PC, like one from the 80s, which is what I told you I was going to do. Because that's my vibe. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know if I really put it here. I love anything the 80s. So it's changing the integration. Let's come back to base 44 real quick and see what it's gotten to here. Issues found. Element type is invalid. Okay, so we found some issues as it's going. It's still working through. Okay, the visual novel is now, I said this, but I want to make it clear. We are back on base 44. Previously, we were on Replit. So it says the visual novel game is fully built. Here's what was created: a homepage, cinematic landing with fantasy romance aesthetic. Ooh, something is done. Dark purples, gold shimmer. There's a story library. Browse and play stories as cards. That's cool. A game player, full screen visual novel experience with typewriter dialogue, branching choices, character sprites, and 3 ending types: good, neutral, bad. A story editor, manage all your stories with publish/draft toggle. A scene editor, write dialogue lines, assign characters, set branching choices, mark endings. The character manager, add characters with custom colors and sprite URLs. And a demo story included, the Starborn Prince, with 3 endings to explore right away. Okay. So there was a pop-up that said there was issues found, which is error, element type is invalid, expected a string for built-in components or a class/function for composite components, but got object. Check the render method of authenticated app. I don't know what that means, so we're gonna just resolve it with AI. Go ahead and fix that, girl, because I don't know how to do it. Let's come over here. Ooh, we just switched back to Replit, and this is giving what I love. I love this, actually, because I have a story in mind for this style of game. There's always a story. It's always a story, okay? And this would kind of be more so the style that I would go for. I do love it. Okay, let's see. So it's transformed it into a classic 80s green phosphor terminal aesthetic. We've got all these colors, scanline effects, fonts, glow, retro, blah, blah, blah. Great. I'm going to give it a compliment because I always like to compliment AI. Lovely. How do I add my own story? Question mark. Let's see what it's going to say. I don't want you to make my story. I want to, oh, if you're not looking, it's giving a bunch of code. Just make sure, okay, let's see what it's doing here. So the story is super easy to customize. Open client, src pages game.tsx, and you'll see the story data object at the top. That's where all the story data, all the story nodes live. Here's the structure. It's giving, the structure. Okay, each node has a unique identifier, what the player reads, who's speaking, the decisions. To add your own story, replace the existing nodes with your own. Create a new node for each scene and branch. Use next ID to link choices to the next node. And then it gives some example code here, which I'm not going to read off. Just make sure your first node is start so the game knows where to begin. Ready to write your own story? No, girl. No, I'm not ready to write my own story because how do I open this? I'm gonna ask it where and how. I'm gonna say thank you first. Polite. Thank you. Where and how do I open? Paste that in there. Question mark. So what I asked it is, how do I open this thing that you told me to open? .tsx, girl, because I don't know what that is. You can open using the file explorer. You can open the file directly in Replit's file explorer. Here's how. Okay, great. Look at the left side of your Replit interface. Click on the folder icon. Let's see, where is this? Okay. Okay, let me finish reading before I start looking around. Click on the folder icon at the top if it's not already open. Navigate client src pages game. Click on game to open it in the editor. Okay, so it's within this interface. Great. The option 2 is quick open, which is Control-Shift-0. Type game, press enter to open it. Once it's open, you'll see the code. The story data object is right at the top. After import, just edit it there and save. and the changes will automatically update in your browser. Okay. I'm going to ask it, how do I expand the story to make it longer and more complex? Because, girl, I don't know anything about coding, girl. Do I just copy and paste these nuggets of code? Let's see what it's talking about here. Great question. Thank you, girl. Okay, let's come back. So here are the best ways to expand your story. Just add more nodes. Just keep adding to the story data object. Each node is independent. So it's showing this. Okay, so all right, great. Create branching paths. Use next ID to create multiple storylines. Let me not talk like you're looking at this. The first step saying add more nodes, basically it gave some HTML code. It might not be HTML. It gave a block of code that I can just easily copy and paste with starting, scenes, and ending. And then to create branching paths, use next ID to create multiple storylines. Different choices lead to different scenes. So now it's providing more code, of course, that show this. Converge paths back together. Multiple nodes can point to the same next node. Now, when and if I actually sit down to create a sample situation, I'm gonna sit and actually look at this and kind of study it and try to see if I can pick out and understand what's happening with this code here. But I'm just kind of skimming through it for now. Multiple nodes can point back to the same node. All right, more code. All right. Keep it organized. For longer stories, group related nodes together with comments. Okay, so it's got forest section, town section, endings. Use loops, point back to earlier nodes for repeating scenarios. Dead ends, some nodes can just have a try again or restart. Choice pointing back to start. Multiple choices, give nodes 3 to 4 choices to increase complexity. Character variety, use different character names to make conversations feel alive. Pro tip, start simple with 5 to 7 core scenes, get it working, then expand. It's easier to debug a smaller story first. Want me to show you an example of a long story to use as a template? Okay, so it said, I just flubbed through that. Want me to show you an example of a longer story structure to use as a template? Yes, please. Exclamation. Thank you. Show it to me, please, and thank you. Okay, so it's planning the expanded story structure over here on Replit. Let's head back to Story Canvas. All right, so if you remember, it was checking for an error. Let me check app.jsx to find the issue. The issue is main page is set to blah, blah, blah. So it's fixed. Okay, great. Can you show me the sample? Let me see where let's see. I want to try the demo story. I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you. I'd like to try the demo story, please. So let me try this demo. The Starborn Prince is already in your library. Just click Story Library on the home page, then click the story card to start playing it. All right, can I do that without, sorry, I have to look around my camera. Can I do that without losing this? Okay, let's just try it, listen. All right. How do I do that? Hey, how do I do that? On the home page, so do I just click that? How do I get back to my home page, girl? Okay, is this my home page? No. It can't be. Go back. Sorry, please forgive me. This is real life, okay? Preview dashboard. Where is that? How do I get back to the home page? Okay, listen, how do I get back? You know what? I don't know. I don't know if I want to ask that here because it might count that against, I guess, my credits. I don't know. However many things I can ask it to do at once. How do I go back? Overview. Sorry, everybody. Hold on a second. I'm not going to edit this out. I apologize. Code. Okay, there's the code. Story. Okay, I don't want to see the code. Back to dashboard. But like, girl. Back to my workspace. Wow. View all. But where is my apps? I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask it. So I'm just saying I can't find it. How do I get to home? Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so it didn't load the look. I didn't even see that it loaded this as I was typing that. Let's see. Let's play the story. Oh, okay. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I just had to refresh this apparently. Let's play the Starborn Prince. The ancient library of Velitharin stood silent beneath a sky thick with stars. You had spent 3 years studying the celestial manuscripts, but tonight felt different. Lyra, I've translated every page of the Starborn Codex. There must be something I'm missing, something about the convergence. Again, I'm feeling some kind of way. This is not really similar necessarily to a story I've written, and I've put this particular story up on this page somewhere. It's not finished, but it's kind of giving the vibes of that. Maybe I'm just a very cliche writer. We'll just say that. A soft light filled the chamber, silver and gold, impossibly warm, and then he appeared as if woven from starlight itself. No, this is not anything like what I wrote. Okay, so my path. I didn't summon you. This must be a mistake, or I've been searching for you my entire life. Let's go with I've been searching with you for my entire life. A pause. Something flickered across his perfect features, surprise perhaps, or something more. Prince Aelion. That is not the answer I expected from a mortal. Lyra. The Starborn Codex speaks of a bridge between worlds, a love so profound it could rewrite the celestial laws. Ooh, we're laying it on thick. Prince Aelion. You've been reading dangerous texts, little scholar. Such love has unmade princes before. Okay, we're jumping in the deep end. I would risk everything to stay in your world, or maybe love like that should remain a story. We're gonna go all in, okay? That's it. The stars, this is a true ending apparently. The stars rearranged themselves that night. The scholars would say it was an astronomical anomaly, but you knew the truth, that the celestial laws had bent, just this once, for a love written in starlight. You will forget the weight of mortality, and I will finally remember what it means to feel. Together, you ascended. Okay, let's play it again. Let's try the other path, or just a couple of different options. Again, we're in the library. We've been studying the celestial manuscripts. Everything's feeling different right now. We've been translating the Starborn Codex, convergence. We've got light happening in the chamber, and then our prince appears. I didn't summon you. This must be a mistake. Prince Aelion is like, a mistake, how refreshingly mortal of you. Yet the convergence does not err. When a heart longs deeply enough, the stars must answer. Lyra, you're saying my research, my obsession with this codex brought you here? Prince Aelion, your longing brought me here. Do you truly not know what you've been searching for? So the options are, I was searching for a way to reach the celestial realm, or I don't think I'm ready to know. So we're going to say we were searching for a way to reach the realm. Okay, and then we get the same ending again. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's try changing the look so that it's giving more earthy, woody, RPG, foresty type vibes. Let's see. Okay. Can we change? I'm just gonna type it and then I'll read you what I wrote. Excuse me. I don't want it on all caps. So what I asked it to do was, can we change the aesthetic to look more earthy, like a library in a forest? We'll say a fantasy library in a forest. Let's see what it does. So it's going to update the color palette, the fonts, and the CSS to give it a warm, earthy forest library feel. Let's come back over while it's doing that to Replit. So let's see. I've loaded a full example story for you. It's a sci-fi escape story with, okay, we're back on Replit. I already said that, but I just want to make it clear. We're back over here where we've got the old school computer vibe going on. So we've got multiple opening paths: check pockets, try the door, examine the room, branching storylines, moral choices, 5 different endings. Wow. Good, bittersweet, survivor, revenge, and a mysterious merge ending. It's organized with comments. See how I grouped sections with opening, exploration, so and so, such and such. Play through it to see how it all connects. Notice some paths converge. Multiple choices lead to door opens. Some paths are dead ends. Those go to endings. Choices branch the story in meaningful ways. Characters change based on context. Now you can use this as a template for your own story. Just keep the same node structure, replace the text with your own story, reorganize the paths however you want, add as many nodes as you need. Let's play through this. Okay, so system. You wake on a cold metal floor. Fluorescent lights hum above you. A door stands locked in front. How did you get here? So the actions are check your pockets, try the door, examine the room. Let's check our pockets, see what we have. You find a key card and a cryptic note. Level 7, go up, not down. Okay. Let's use the key card on the door. The key card works. The door hisses open, revealing a corridor with 3 paths. Left to daylight, straight deeper into the facility, and down, stairs descending into darkness. So we're supposed to go up. All right. I feel like left into daylight. I feel like up feels like it'll be straight. So we're going to go straight deeper in. You walk deeper into the facility, more doors, more corridors. One is marked Command Center. Another says Research Authorized Personnel Only. Let's enter the Command Center. Screens flicker with surveillance feeds. You see the outside world, normal, peaceful. A red button glows on the console, labeled Lockdown Override. Let's press the button. Ooh, alarms blare. Doors slam open through the facility. The AI voice announces emergency shutdown initiated. All systems offline in 60 seconds. What? Let's run to the exit. You push through the final doors. Sunlight floods your vision. Fresh air trees the world outside. Continue. You disappear into the forest. No one finds you. No one follows. You're finally free. That facility is forgotten, but you remember. You always will. Okay, let's start over. Let's try another path. So we're on that metal floor. Let's examine the room. The room is sterile, steel walls, a drain in the floor, and a shelf with strange medical equipment. You notice the door has a keycard slot. So we can either search for a keycard or examine the medical equipment. Let's examine the medical equipment. The equipment is labeled Containment Flush Cycle. You don't want to know what that means. You can either grab a key card you see nearby or get out of here. Let's grab the key card. You find a key card and a cryptic note. Level 7, go up, not down. Let's use the key card. Again, we're open. Let's descend into darkness this time. The lowest level, a massive chamber. In the center, the original version of you sleeping in a tank, still alive. Let's wake him up. You disconnect the original you. As they wake, you feel something strange. Memories, voices, two identities merging into one. You are complete, you are whole, you are finally yourself. Let's do one more time. Let's try the door. So the door won't budge, but you notice something odd, a faint glow behind a wall panel. So we can pry open the panel or leave it alone. Let's pry it open. We're gonna be nosy. So inside the panel is a key card, but the red light on it is blinking ominously. Let's wait and observe the blinking. The blinking accelerates, a voice crackles through a hidden speaker. Intruder detected, seal initiated. Use the key card now. You slide the key card. The door opens just as seals begin closing. You squeeze through and land in the corridor. So we can either head to the daylight, go deeper in, or descend into darkness. Let's go deeper in. So we're going into the facility. We see command center and research. So let's break into research. Walls lined with notes, diagrams, and photographs. Project name, specimen recovery. You see your own face in one of the photos. Your memory floods back. You're not human anymore. Let's read the files. The files are horrifying. You've been here for 3 years. You died in an accident. They brought you back. You're not the first. There are 47 others. Let's free the others. You find the chamber, 47 tanks. You activate the release sequence. Alarms scream. You don't wait to see what happens. You run. Let's destroy the facility. The facility crumbles. Months later, news reports speak of a gas explosion at a research institute. You watch from afar as your former prison burns. Closure at last. Okay, very interesting. Let's take a look at this code. How do I do that? Tools and files. Database. Let's go back. Preview. Where can I see? I'm going to ask it where I can view this code. Okay, where can I view this code for this sample game, girl? So you can view it in the Replit editor. So we click on the folder icon to the left. Don't see one. Navigate client SRC pages. Click on it to open and see the code, or use the quick open shortcut. Let's do that. Control Shift 0. Nothing happened. Great. So nothing happened when I clicked the quick open shortcut. Okay, so how do I find this folder? Is it just I'm not allowed to do it because I'm not paying for this? They always tell me to go somewhere that doesn't exist, my brother. Where does this exist? Let's come over here. I'm looking at, if you're just listening, I'm looking around the screen to try to find things that I can click. All right, we've got folders on the right-hand side. What am I supposed to look for? I'm supposed to look for client. It said on the left, and it was all the way on the right, SRC. And we're looking for pages, game. Great. Okay, so let's see what this is telling me. Import use state use effect from React. I don't understand this. I don't understand this code. Type story node, ID string, character, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I'm not going to mess with any of this other stuff. I would just be changing, I think, just these brown bits with the options. All right. Okay. I think that if I sit with this and look at it a little bit closer, just kind of like sit and study it in general, I think that I'll start to get it. Because I have looked at code and things before, not like in a serious way, just in my own little boo-bopping around the world trying to do stuff, the world of tech, trying to do stuff. But let's see. Oh, it's all out of credits. Upgrade to a premium plan. So with this, the credits renew in 1 hour and 51 minutes. Bet. Okay, bet. So, I think with my credits ending here, how long have I been recording? For 44 minutes, just about 45 almost. I think that this is probably a good place for us to stop for right now. So, I wouldn't say these are my final thoughts. My thoughts so far are that I am, hitting my mic, cautiously optimistic. I'm kind of very interested in this. I can see a number of use cases that I would mess around with some stories, create some things, probably some free stuff. I think that this could be very helpful for me to start creating my game studio, bro, my video game studio. What I want to also ask is, I did want to ask Storybase. I think, okay, I'm back over here on Storybase. And, oh, sorry, I just clicked it. I'll transition one more time. I'm back over here on Storybase because I wanted to ask it, how would I go about putting my own artwork in, right? I didn't have to transition for that. So some things that I'm interested in exploring are how I can put my own artwork into this. So that would have to be at another time. But I think that for this free sort of trial, seeing it create the code in the background, I think that this is very, very compelling to me, guys. I have to admit. Now, this is kind of where I feel like a little bit of a hypocrite, because when it comes to things like story and even art, even though I do use AI to create the thumbnail art, because as I've mentioned in previous videos, for my thumbnail art for my videos, because if I had to sit down and draw art for every thumbnail, I would never put out a video. Okay. Even though I'm back into art and I love it, it would just make the process of creating these videos in any kind of timely manner slow down and grind to a halt. So I do use it for that. Some of the clients that I've been working with in my creative BFF story coaching business have been using AI to generate mock-ups, quick designs. And one of my clients has been having me before I was involved, they created some mock-ups of some characters with AI. And on some of the characters, it's just been, can you make some tweaks? Can you change the outfit? Can we, change certain aspects of the character design, which has made the process a lot quicker rather than me coming in and having to start fresh with character design. Although there are some things, some designs and stuff that I will be redesigning fresh, but just to kind of have some visuals to go on, that's what they've been doing. And I also still really feel like, don't use it for creative story writing. Okay, that's how I feel. But I do use it for business applications and for basically aggregating the combined knowledge of the internet for research and information. I still use that with a light touch because, AI be lying to you sometimes. But I think for this, and I apologize to all the coders and the people who spent years, learning code to make games and things like that. Because listen, I'm in your same shoes, having spent years learning how to draw and learning how to write in order to create these things. But for me, someone who doesn't have, any interest in really going deep and learning code, for it to be set up like this to where all I have to do is make tweaks is, very, very helpful. So it kind of being a hybrid, which, listen, maybe I should feel that way about art and writing as well. Maybe I should feel that way about art and writing with AI. I don't know. The jury is still out. But anyway, let me stop rambling. I have found this to be a very interesting experiment. I do think that I may continue with one of these or both of these, I'm not sure, and see if at some point in the near-ish future that I will continue and make my own kind of little easy sample story game, and just release it for you guys to experiment with and see what you think about it, right? But I think this is very interesting. I think this is kind of exciting. So I think that I may mess around with this a little bit more. But anyway, listen, have a great weekend. Love you. Okay. Get some sun. It's really hot where I am right now. I'm sweating right now, standing here, girl, because I didn't want to put on any fans and air conditioning to blow your eardrums out. But listen, it's hot. Have a great weekend. And I will see you next time, my friend. Go write something, go draw something, go be creative, and drink some water, and have a great day.